What's up, everyone? My name is Romeo, aka AmightyRhino, and we were able to meet with Brandon, aka Shaggy, from Z104, where he is the music director and also one of the hosts for the Zmorning Zoo. We interviewed him, and this is how it went. Coming up next.
Action!
What's up, everyone? My name is Romeo, aka AmightyRhino, and with me is Brandon, aka Shaggy, from the local radio station Z104, and also the music director and one of the hosts for Zmorning Zoo. How you doing today?
That's a good intro. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. And your nickname is way cooler than mine, AmightyRhino. I like it.
So, you grew up here in Virginia Beach.
Yep.
How do you feel about the motto as being Virginia is for lovers?
You know, it's funny because I remember Pusha made a T-shirt, or wore a T-shirt, Virginia's for hustlers, and I remember joking saying that made more sense to me, even though, in the quote-unquote world, hustlers was, typically selling dope or drugs. I always look at myself as a hustler, not as selling drugs-wise. So Virginia's for lovers, I felt like was like the 60s and 70s and maybe early 80s. If I had a choice for slogan, I would say I would be more on the hustlers part because I think we all work our asses off to get to the next level.
Absolutely. Awesome. Okay. Now, how was it growing up with three other brothers?
It was cool, so my older brother Chris is a little older than us. He was super smart, very artistic, could draw. My next brother Billy was really athletic, point guard at Princeton, quarterback at Princeton High School. I was always good at sports, but I never really wanted to play at a school. And but I was always the one that just wanted to make everything. I had to stand out differently because I had the athlete, I had the artist, and then so I was just like the kind of crazy guy. And my little brother Cody, he's like motorcycle riding, surfing, extreme sports. So like we all four of us, even though we're close, we were all different. We had our own little crew. Like my friends got along with my brother's friends, but we were all different. So we had like our own little mob. So having three brothers growing up was the greatest thing mom and dad could give to me.
So y'all got along?
Oh yeah, we were best. I mean, we still are best friends. But
awesome.
When we were kids, if we went to play basketball at the school, we couldn't send one home to check in. Remember, before phones, you had to actually go to your mom's house to like check in. We couldn't send like my little brother, my older brother. We all had to come home and check in and then come back. And then if I stayed the night at a friend's house, my brother stayed with me.
That's
so
awesome.
We were like tight.
Awesome. All right. So now your parents, are they still with us?
Yeah, they're still with us.
How were they growing up? Strict? Were they mean? Were they nice? Support you?
All of the above. We didn't do timeout. My dad dropped out of Lake Taylor in high school. My mom dropped out because she got pregnant at 14. My mom actually is my general manager here at the skating rink. They're still married. They've been married for 70,000 years. My mom just turned, she's gonna hate me. My mom just turned 58. My dad's turning 61. Or my mom just turned 59. My dad's turning 61. Disciplined, supportive, never missed a game, took us to all the practices.
Awesome.
Had to get good grades. If you didn't get good grades, you didn't play. There was no timeout. There was no tell me what you did wrong. There was go outside, get a switch off the tree, I'm gonna whip your butt. But I was more scared of my parents than I was the police, which gave me the respect of making sure I did right in school. And I never went to jail, never got in trouble, never got kicked out of school, never got ISS because I was scared of my parents out of letting them down. Not that they were going to hurt me,
right?
Letting them down.
Great, awesome, okay. So now, where and how did you meet your wife, Nikki?
So my wife, that's a great story. You got really good questions, by the way. I usually get the same 5 questions.
Thank you.
My wife was a bartender at Peabody's years ago, and then she got a job promotion where she was the bar manager of Bar Norfolk in downtown Norfolk. And on Wednesday nights, it was Z104 night, college night. So I was a host, like on the microphone. And I didn't really talk to Nikki because at that time I had a different girlfriend, and I didn't really talk to other girls. I kind of just like, I was just focused on that.
Right.
Well, when me and the other girl split, probably like maybe a couple weeks later, I never spoke to Nikki. Knew of her at Peabody's, when she worked there, when I worked there, and then knew her at bar. I probably said 3 words to her in the 4 years that she was in the club scene here in Virginia, because she's from Richmond.
Okay.
And so I kind of just mentioned to her one day, I had a bad day, and I just said, hey, I'm going to go over to MacArthur Center, California Pizza Kitchen. I had like sweatpants, just like I look now, a little thinner, but just like I look now. And I said, you want to go over there? And she went over there with me, and she was in a relationship. I just got out of a relationship. We really were just friends, like no secret rendezvous, no kid. Like we were just friends. Like every now and then when she was bored, she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm at the, going to do this.
Nice.
And then that just led into like us going, is there something more here? And then we've never broke up. We've been together 14 years.
Nice, that's awesome.
We've never like said, hey, let's take some time apart. Like, no.
Wow, that's awesome. That's really awesome. All right, now, I know you have 2 boys.
Yeah.
Brody and Bentley, correct?
That's correct, yep.
And how old are they?
10 and 7, and they're the greatest thing ever.
That's awesome. And now I know, I've seen on social media just recently that they go and they co-host with you on Saturday nights. So yeah. Any of them going to be like following your footsteps here in the near future?
So I will say that Brody, my oldest, my 10-year-old, is the smartest kid when it comes to statistics. I mean, when it comes to sports, you could ask him who is the 6th man on the Atlanta Hawks, and he can tell you.
What?
You can ask him who's the left guard for the Indianapolis Colts. When it comes to football and basketball, the kid's a genius. I mean, when I say genius, I'm not saying it because he's my son. I'm telling you, genius. Bentley, my youngest, is exactly like me. Could care less what people think, wants to make everybody laugh, wants to be center of attention, and is really good at anything he does. Anything he picks up, he learns like that.
Right.
So the radio thing happened where I always try to reinvent myself and try to go, I don't want to be stagnant and go, well, wow, Shaggy's been here. Next month, I'll be doing radio for 19 years. I've changed with time from being a business owner to raising kids to coaching sports to Shag Fest, whatever it is, I've changed. So both of my kids had an interest in music, and I was like, all right, well, look, Z104 trusts me. My kids are outgoing. They're both different. They both know how to talk. I know how to run my own show. What if I brought them on the radio?
Wow.
Taught them it, but at the same time built their own brand. Now, if my kids told me they didn't want to do it, I wouldn't have them do it. I'd say, fine. They love it more than anything, because then they tell their friends in school, then their friends hear it, and then like we'll be out at Chili's or eating somewhere. That's not a plug, by the way. We'll be out eating somewhere, and people will come up and be like, oh, I hear you guys every Saturday night. And it's like,
wow, that's awesome.
So by the time my kids are in middle school and high school, if God is good, which he is, and if Z104 keeps you around, by the time they're in high school, like they're gonna literally be doing their own radio show once a week for 5 to 8 years. I'm just blessed to be able to do that for my kids. Now, if they don't want to do radio, great. But could you imagine a college resume going, I've worked at a major radio station when I was 10?
That holds a lot of weight.
Yeah. So it's pretty cool.
Sure.
And they enjoy it.
Okay. So next is growing up. What did you see yourself wanting to do or wanting to be or have a career or job in? Like let's say junior high.
Yeah. So junior high, I wanted to work for Def Jam. I wanted to work for Rick Rubin more than life. Like I literally would go and buy these books called Ego Trip, and there's a lot of DJs in the area that probably didn't even know I knew this stuff because I don't talk about it a lot. But I would get these books and I would study like statistics of like what song came out in 1988 that was #1 and who produced it and all this. And Def Jam was just a record label that had every rapper that I loved on it. I mean everybody. And so there's a thing called an A&R, where back in the early 90s, even up until probably when iTunes and all that came out, A&Rs were basically people who worked for record labels that would go find talent and sign them. And they would, like, so if you lived in New York City and you were dope and you worked for Def Jam would go to wherever you were performing at and check you out. And then if you're dope, you sign them. That's how you saw, like, Straight Outta Compton. Remember they went to the show to see them and they signed them backstage?
Right.
But now that's all changed. But in junior high, I wanted to work for Def Jam because I wanted to travel the country and go find dope acts. Like, that's just what I wanted to do. And then when I got in high school, I started doing more research, realizing that they're cutting back on those because of just times were changing. We went from, cassette to CD to then, LimeWire. Remember people
Oh my goodness,
right?
yeah.
So all that, so you went from having, and don't quote me here, but like say 20 A&Rs for one division to having 4. And those 4 A&Rs were running, they've been there for 20, 25 years. So I'm going, well, I can't do that. So then, to finish your question, because you said junior high, so I wanted to work for Def Jam pretty much up until my senior year. Then when I realized that probably wasn't going to happen, I was like, well, I'll just go be like I know it sounds so crazy, completely opposite. I was like, I'll go be like a U.S. Marshal. I was like, I'll go chase some bad guys. Just because I wanted excitement. I was like, if I can't do music, I want to go and like chase down killers and stuff. And then I did like half of a semester in TCC, and Teddy Riley helped me out. Got me a job at Z104.
All right. Well, I was gonna ask, what's the connection with the Z104 and Teddy Riley?
So Teddy Riley's nephews went to school with me, David Watts and Marcus Watts, and we used to play basketball together. And actually, Marcus actually took the last spot at Prince Anne High School. Like we're still best friends. Like we're still close. And so Marcus Watts, so if he's watching this, he knows all this is true. M. Watts actually took the last spot at PA's basketball, and I was the next. Like so, literally, the team was made. He made it, and I was next. And we had like a little funny beef over. But we used to go to Teddy's studio, which is right beside PA, like all the time. And then I got invited to No Diggity just came out. So I think it was like, gosh, man, 96 maybe. I can't remember. I was young, and Teddy used to do a turkey give back every Thanksgiving at Greenbrier Skating Center. I know we're sitting here at Haygood, but that's just what he did. And he invited me, and he just got done doing The City Is Mine with Jay-Z. And Volume 1 just came out, so this is before 98. It's probably 96, 97, because Volume 1 came out in 96, I think. And I'm standing there, Black Street's bigger than life. And I woke up and I introduced myself to Teddy again. I said, I'm this kid, this and this. I said, I kind of DJ. Jay-Z, true story, I still have a photo. Jay-Z standing against the wall. No one knew Jay-Z then. Like he had, it wasn't In My Life, Reasonable Doubt was out, and In My Lifetime just came out. So he just put out Sunshine. But no one really knew what Jay-Z looked like then. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but like the average person didn't know.
I believe it.
So I walked up to him, this little white kid, and he's standing there by himself at Greenbrier Skating Center. And I said, "You're Jay-Z?" And he's like, "Yeah." And I said, "Oh my God." And I like froze. He's like, he kind of looked at me like, "How do you know me?" Not like because I'm white, just completely like, I'm a little surfer kid. So he signs this piece of paper and it says, "To Brandon Stokes," my name, "Jay-Z, stay in school." And then I took a photo with him that I still have. And I'm like, cheese it. No one else took a photo with him. So probably like 4 months later, Marcus or David, one of them tell me, "Hey, will you DJ for Teddy's daughter's birthday, Deja?" Wow. Because I DJ, so I said yeah. And I didn't charge him because I'm not gonna charge Teddy Riley for it. Like I know he can pay me, but I'd rather just connection.
Nice.
Just knowing them and going to their house and DJing parties for him. Dave Watts and Teddy knew someone that worked at Z104, and they kind of mentioned that they wanted like a young intern kid who was like really knew the market, really knew music, wasn't sheltered by radio, kind of just. And so Dave Watts, Teddy's nephew, called me and goes, "Brandon, I had this great opportunity. Ted thinks it's great. You can go do morning radio at Z104." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." Because I never thought about doing radio ever in my head.
Oh, wow.
And after about 2 or 3 times of Dave Watts and Teddy kind of saying, "Hey, you should do this," I went in there, met the guy, Don London, who hired me. I started out as an intern. Within the first 2 weeks, I was like, "Yeah, this ain't for me." And then I went to lunch with Teddy. I don't know where we were. I want to say Baker's Crust in Hilltop because it's so long ago. You're talking about 2000. You're talking 20 years ago.
Right.
There was Baker Crust, and he said, "I know your work ethic. I know who you are. If you stay with it, like, trust me when I tell you, you're gonna look back and say it's the best decision." I didn't see a career radio with me. You know what I mean? So I literally took his advice, dropped out of TCC. I went like maybe 2 months, and then I've been at radio ever since.
Wow. Didn't you work for Teddy for a little bit, for a short period of time?
I didn't really quote unquote work for him. I just did.
Helped him out?
Yeah, I just did any. Most of the gigs or most of the events he did here, DJing wise, I just DJ'd him for him.
Wow.
Yeah, so like I was more of a friend. Like if he had a house party, if he needed something, or Markel was in town and needed to, like I was just kind of, I don't want to watch it say, "Oh, Shaggy just hung around." I was more of a guy that was just, Teddy could have had anybody to do whatever he wanted. I was the new guy, hungry, going, "Oh, you want me to DJ?" Not saying he said this. "You want me to DJ in the desert for 4 kids?" I'm there, and I'm not charging you because I know something's gonna come down the line.
Right, exactly.
I mean, I was with Marcus Watts and Teddy when Teddy was the first person I think in the East Coast that got a TV when they were making TVs in your fridge. You could buy
Yeah,
it.
okay.
I remember
Wow.
being, dude, I'm so young, and I'm going, oh my God, this dude's got a TV in his fridge. Like, you know, so it was more of a just, I was always around. I never got paid by Teddy. I was never on payroll, and that's not a shot at him. I didn't ask for none of that.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
I was just gaining knowledge and just being a part of whatever he was doing.
Exactly. You saw a bigger picture.
Way bigger picture.
Right. Okay. All right. So what motivated you to start DJing?
Jam Master Jay.
Jam Master Jay.
Yeah, so, and I'm not nowhere near as good as him, so I don't really want to.
He's awesome.
By the way, shout out to my favorite DJ, DJ B.
Nice.
So, so I know it sounds crazy. I knew I had rhythm because like I would do dance competitions like at schools and stuff and win. Then I would
Nice.
I would go to Norfolk and like go to like basketball parks and play basketball, and I wouldn't break dance, but like whenever music would come on, everyone knew like I had rhythm. None of my other brothers do. They would tell you, none of them do. So I was like, all right, well I can dance, but I'm not gonna really be a backup dancer. Then I was like, I can't sing, I can't rap. I mean, I can sit right now and try my best to rap. I'm just gonna write Big L's lyrics down and act like you don't know what they are. So then I was like, well, what else can I do? And I saw a video on MTV News it was not MTV News, it was Ed Lover and Dr. Dre, Ed Lover and Dre. They used to do,
yeah, that's way back.
that wasn't a basement, MTV Raps. Yo, MTV Raps.
Oh my gosh.
And
yeah.
Jam Master Jay was on there, and I remember watching it, and I remember going, wow, he's literally a musician with his hand, like he's playing an instrument, you know what I mean? So my dad went to A&M, and this is when A&M was on Military Highway, right by the airport, it's not there anymore. Bought me 2 Technique 1200 turntables. I was maybe in, I want to say 5th or 6th grade. Then I got a job here at the skating rink when I was in 9th, and just perfected my craft. I haven't touched turntables in probably 15 years. Not because of the love, just because I didn't work at it long enough after I graduated high school and I got in radio, that out of respect for the craft, I let it go. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like I was like, you know what, I've done my part, I've done as far, but I'm not gonna keep going around acting like I'm this great DJ when all these other guys are putting in work.
That's crazy you say about I remember there used to be a gum tree in the front.
Yeah, you
there.
said gum tree, and then
Yeah.
the health department made us take it out.
Oh,
That
wow.
makes sense. You have a bunch
Yeah.
of chewed gum on a damn tree. Like, it's crazy.
That's how old this place is.
Yeah.
But all right, so I'm sure you heard this question many times, but what's your typical day at Z104? What time do you wake up and all that good stuff?
What time am I supposed to wake up, or what time do I wake up? Let's go with time I'm supposed to wake up. I'm supposed to wake up at 4:30. But times have changed, man. Like, when I first got on radio, there was no social media. There was no Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. So we would have to get to the station for a few hours before so we could do a thing called show prep. It's kind of like what you see the news people do, you know, they're flipping through the stuff. So then we could, you know, you would have to get to the thing and look up USA Today and New York Post, and there was no TMZ. You know, you'd look at BET.com, MTV, there was no World Star. You know what I mean? Like, that stuff
Right.
didn't happen. So you literally would have to take an hour or two to find out that, let's just, for shits and giggles, let's just say Jennifer Lopez fell down a flight of stairs. You know, it would probably take you 45 minutes to find that story because you're looking through all these papers.
Right.
So now, I live 5 minutes from the radio station. So the first thing I do when I wake up is I check Twitter and see what's trending. I knew for a fact, like, I knew about Gordon Hayward and Kobe Bryant situation. I knew about before I get to the radio station, I know that Meek Mill got in an argument with Nicki Minaj at a jewelry store. I didn't even see the video. I just saw Meek trending, clicked on it, and said Meek Mill confronted Nicki Minaj's boyfriend. I'm going, oh, there's a story. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, and we're such a top 40 station, we're like fast with it. By the time I get to the station, I will sit there with Nick, who's the host of the show, and I'll say, hey dude, these are the 5 things I saw on Twitter. And he go, yep, I saw these 3. We have 8 stories like that before I even walked in the building.
Wow.
So now I get up, because again, you want me to be honest, 5:15.
Wow.
Because we go on the air at 5:42. I take a shower, brush my teeth, and I'm 4 minutes from the station.
Right, exactly.
But I'm ready to roll.
Awesome.
Yeah, like I'm ready to go. It's not like I'm not putting in work. I'm ready.
Exactly. Oh yeah.
And the average person doesn't know. They're not listening going, they sound unprepared. No, we're ready.
I believe it. I believe it. Now, how is it working with Nick and Ashley?
By the way, if I keep checking my phone, I'm just checking time for my kids'
That's
school.
so fine.
All right, I don't want
That's
you to
fine.
being rude.
No, no problem.
I've been with Nick now, 15 years, 14, 15 years, and Ashley, I think 9. It's awesome. Like, Nick's a super genius. Even
He's
though
hilarious.
we don't give each other. First of all, we don't hang out outside the station. Like, I think I've been to Nick's house once. I think he's been to my house once. But if you listen on the air, you think that we're like best friends, which I don't hate the guy. He doesn't hate me. It's just we're work.
Exactly.
We work.
Exactly.
Ashley and I actually talk probably more, just because she has a newborn boy. I have two boys. Her and my wife kind of talk a little bit. Her husband knows my little brother, but she lives in Newport News, so we don't really like hang out. But Nick's a super genius. What Nick brings to the show, I can't tell you how important it is because, how can I explain it? If you're a good comedian, right? You want to bring someone on the road that goes on before you that's good. And you want them to shine because then your show looks better. Nick will set me up with a one-liner because we work together so long, like it's like an alley-oop. He'll say something like, I don't know, it's gonna start be like, man, that wall was hard. Because he knows I'm gonna say a funny joke after that. Where most hosts, they want to be the funny one because they're the host. They control the show. He will literally give me, like when people go, Shaggy, you're crazy, 99% of the times, Nick gave it to me. He didn't write the joke for me. He didn't tell me, but he knew damn good and well, because 15 years working together, I'm going to set Shaggy up. He's going to knock this shit out the park, and then we're going to go to commercial.
Wow.
Ashley is completely raw. She's unfiltered. She's not biased. She's not, what do you call it, when someone's been in the system so long, they're like, sometimes I have to tell her off the air, because again, I know I'm still Shaggy, 19 years on radio, but I'm still young. I have to tell her off the air sometimes, like, hey, be careful with that one. Like, don't get yourself into trouble, because she's not trying to get herself in trouble. She just, and it's not that she's inexperienced, because she's very experienced. She just talks on the radio like me and you're talking right now. She sometimes, and which is the best radio. Unfiltered. Right? It's the best radio because when you're in your car, you feel like she's talking to you.
Wow.
She's not talking to everyone.
Right.
Where you hear a radio guy go, coming up today, we got this and this, and you're like, yeah, you sound like a radio guy. She actually seems like she's sat on the couch in her pajamas, drinking a Miller Lite, shooting the shit. And that's fantastic. And then I'm the guy who plays, Nick says, the best compliment Nick's ever gave me is, Shaggy's dumb enough to play dumb.
Wow.
No, I'm sorry, take that back. Shaggy's smart enough to play dumb.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So like when I go on the air and I say, so how many states is in New England? I know New England's just an area up north, but people listening think it's funny because I'm thinking New England's a country. But it's just part of the state.
I see.
I'm not stupid.
Gotcha.
But I play stupid.
So for those that do not watch or do not listen to Z104, can you explain to them about Dirty Work Wednesday? Wednesday and War of the Roses?
Yeah, so War of the Roses we do every Monday at 8 a.m. A girl or a guy calls us if they think someone's cheating. Now, remind you, we don't call them, they call us. So it's completely voluntary. So a girl will call and she can say, I think my husband's cheating, blah, blah, blah. Ashley calls the guy and she says, hey, we were gonna send roses. If he says the girl's name, that's his wife, then hey, 99% of the time, they say something wrong. So we do that every Monday. Dirty Work Wednesday is the one thing we do a week that scares me. Because now when I get people to come up and go, hey, are you Shaggy? Before Shagfest and before Dirty Work, it was all love. Like, oh my God, listen to you. Then with Shagfest, with some artists feeling like they should be on Shagfest and not get on Shagfest, they could be upset or bitter. But that's kind of gone away now. Because I've done Shagfest so long, I don't really get the angry rappers anymore. Like, that's kind of went away, which is good. But Dirty Work, I don't know if I ruined your life by you cheating on your wife. So Dirty Work we do every Wednesday at 8 a.m. too. I tell guys that I know that listen to only country music or rock music, I'm like, listen, you can listen to whatever you want. If you want to hear the most entertaining shit on live radio, give me a shot Wednesday morning, 8 o'clock. Because I guarantee you're going to text me going, this can't be real. And then I'll tell them, we don't have Z104 t-shirts right now to give to our listeners. Not because we're broke, it's just because, budgets and times. And where are we getting these actors from? If they're actors.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
exactly.
It's not like we're in LA, we can just go down the street and be like, hey. I mean, we're in Virginia Beach. Like, so every week we got 2 great people calling up with a stick. You know what I'm saying? So it's just, we never know where it's going to go. And it's my job, because a lot of times people go, well, Shaggy, I don't hear you a lot on Dirty Work Wednesday. I hear Nick and Ashley. So Dirty Work, we start promoting all week long. So sometimes we have to call like on Friday or like Monday for Wednesday. So the person who calls us gives us permission because they called us. But if I call you, I got to get your permission. So my job is to be on the other line, offering everything Something in the Water tickets, Shagfest tickets, Busch Gardens tickets, Ocean Breeze tickets, money, whatever it is, because we got this great audio of this guy getting caught or whatever it is. But if he says, no, you don't have my permission, in the state of Virginia, I technically don't have to have your permission. Like, you can record me right now and not give you my permission, you can put it wherever you want in the state of Virginia. But when it comes to FCC rules and radio, we have to. So that's why a lot of times if you don't hear me on Dirty Work and we're stalling for part 2, you know, sometimes we'll play part 1, yeah. It's because the guy or girl hasn't given me consent yet. And I'm in the office through a glass window.
Wow.
Working it.
Wow. What's the craziest situation you've ever been in either Dirty Work?
2. And it was with me. Well, actually 3. I'll be fast because I don't want to hold you up.
Okay.
One was a military guy. He got caught cheating. Got an argument with me on the air. Told me he was going to beat me up because I go to Peabody's. He knows me. So I offered him on the air to come to the studio, like on the radio. He comes to the studio 20 minutes later, banging on the glass. He was in an army suit. And listen, wow. I'm not about that life. But I'm also not going to stand there and act like I'm scared of the world. You know what I mean? Like, but I'm not out looking for trouble. So he comes around the corner. I go up front. He said he was going to fight me. We were recording it all live. And as soon as he got to me, he started crying because he like messed up and ruined his life. And actually now we're kind of friends, like we speak. Wow. The other time, a guy was cheating on his wife at a hotel in the town center. So I dressed up like a technician, spelled the word technician wrong on my shirt, had a tool belt, like I was gonna change the smoke alarm. And the hotel's, like I said, town center. So
I think I heard this.
You can figure it out. And the guy found out, somehow, some way, I can't remember exactly, but I had an earpiece in. He was cheating on his wife, found out he was a big, big, tall man. He looked like he played football, basketball. And he pushed me off the ladder, threw my phone against the wall. I grabbed my phone, ran down the stairs, and then literally, like, all of our listeners called the police because they thought I was gonna get hurt. And then the last one I did was a lady was living in Chicago, but from here. This just happened recently, like maybe 2 months ago. She called, she works for Centera. She got transferred to Chicago. Her husband was selling the house, had 2 weeks that he was staying at another hotel down the street. And she said that she thought there was a girl in the room. Because Centera paid for the hotel, I was able to get a key. I went in there Facebook Live. And you can still go to our Z104 Facebook page, still up. I didn't put the girl on Facebook Live, so that's why I legally got away with it. I just put her legs in with her toenails, and she said he was in the shower.
I remember listening to that.
Right, so it's all on Facebook Live, and I wasn't scared, but I did not expect a young lady to answer the door. Now, I saw her face to face, but I had my phone like this.
Right.
And, but yeah, that was crazy.
And yeah, I remember you were
I ran that because I was scared. I ran. And then, if you see live, they had like a military meeting that day. Like, he wasn't in the military. But so I ran down the hallway. Now, we live in 2020 now. If you see anyone running, you don't go, oh, they're having fun. You question, like, what the hell's going on? I'm running to go get to the elevator. I turn around the corner, and there was like 15 Marines in uniform because they had a Marine ball, like Christmas party or something. Ooh, I thought for sure. The one guy looked at me, and I literally looked up and said, "No, I'm good." I thought they were gonna like tackle me and like, because I think they thought I was up to something. So that's why I was running. 'Cause I was scared to death of them.
Well, thank God nothing.
No, yeah. I mean, my insurance is good though. So.
All right. So I know you're a very giving person, a philanthropist at heart. So what gave you the idea and motivation to start Stuff the Bus?
My father. My father was poor, really poor. So was my mom. My mom won't eat hot dogs till this day because when they were kids, that's all they had, but they didn't have heat. So she had to cook the hot dog over a candle. So if you cook a hot dog over a candle, it tastes like wax. So my mom won't even eat hot dogs. But my dad was real poor. He had a family of 13, no dad. Dropped out of school, like I said, in 9th or 10th grade at Lake Taylor to work at the job he's at now. My dad's very, very, very successful as a hard-working crane operator. And my mom's very successful, by the way, as well. I don't want my mom to think she's not, because she is. My mom's freaking fantastic. Awesome. But my dad told us when we were kids, you know, Salvation Army would come into the neighborhood, and they lived in Bromley in Norfolk. They would drive, the Salvation Army truck would drive down and get out and have socks and oranges. And they would go up to each door and just give socks and oranges out for Christmas. And my dad and his brothers, they didn't know any different. They thought, holy crap, we got a brand new pair of socks, like legit, like that's. So when we were kids, we never wanted for anything. We got whatever. My dad worked his ass off. We always got the new Jordans or whatever it was. But we weren't spoiled. So when we got about teenagers, we would count gifts. I'd be like, Chris, you got 14 gifts, I got 12. My mom was like, well, because one of your gifts are more expensive. my dad, that's when he said, okay, now it's time for you guys to understand what life is about. Because again, we didn't know any different.
Right.
So he's like, this is how me and your mom grew up, and this is this.